Welcome to episode 50 of the Engineer Career Podcast. This is really exciting to be at episode 50. It's a huge milestone, and I'm planning to tell you and share with you everything that I've learned through Engineer Career over the last 49 episodes. So if you're a student, this episode's for you. And if you're an engineer in your early stages of your career, this is for you. So let me tell you what I've learned. But before we do, I want to share with you where I am today. This episode has been recorded at the National Manufacturing Institute, Scotland, NMIS, and it's based in Renfrew. Before anything else, I want to thank NMIS for opening their doors and letting me record episode 50 in this building. NMIS exists to drive the future of manufacturing, and it's through innovation, to grow the economy, to build a vibrant workforce, and to create a healthier, greener society that we're all in. From a network of world-class R&D facilities, they work with businesses of every size and sector across Scotland, the UK and wider afield, and they turn brilliant ideas into reality at industry speed. But they don't only do manufacturing, and that's maybe a bit of a reason why I'm here today. The line that stands out for me and my knowledge of NMIS is around what they do with interns. The work that they do sitting between industry, academia and the public sector to train the next generation of makers, innovators, engineers is something that I admire both from afar but also up close, having built a relationship with NMIS over the last year. So the entire reason for this podcast being hosted here today is because of the internship programme that they have built over the previous years. So to record episode 50 in a place that lives and breathes the mission of Engineer Career, I couldn't have thought of a better place and a better fit. So thank you to everyone at NMIS for making this happen. You'll hear more about the great work that NMIS are doing and their internship programme later on in this episode. So why did I start this? When I started Engineer Career, I said I believed that there was a space for people to learn from other people's careers. That was it. That was the whole idea. It started with articles and it moved on to podcasts. And mainly our main medium now of outreach is through our podcasts and social media. To interview people across engineering, construction and manufacturing and let them tell their story in their words from school to wherever they are today. Why they followed a career into engineering, construction and manufacturing, who their mentors are and where, what drives them, how they cope when it gets hard, what they're still chasing, what they're still to achieve. I believe that if you can hear how someone actually got to where they are, you can see a route that you maybe didn't know exists. Because engineering and the problem of engineering through the years is a stigma. People think that one type of person, one type of mind, one straight road. I don't believe that. I've lived something completely different. So I committed back in January 2024 to starting the podcast, and I recorded episode 1 in March 2024 in Glasgow Caledonian University. Never having recorded an episode in my life, never having used any sound equipment, but I knew that this medium is needed. I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I had to get shown how to use the equipment, and you could maybe argue I don't have a clue what I'm doing now. But yeah, you learn how to use the equipment, learn how to convince guests to come on the podcast. But my hope remains the same, that each episode helps someone, somewhere, building their way into engineering. Whether it's that 15-year-old that's sparked their interest after a STEM activity, or whether it's the 21-year-old that's looking for their first graduate role and struggling at the moment. Whether it's someone that's sitting at the age of 25 building their career, or someone later on in their career who wants to be able to help someone. This is what Engineer Career is here for. So 2 years on, I'm sitting at NMIS recording episode 50, and from my personal note, no way would I believe this was going to happen. 49 episodes, 56 guests, 4 solo episodes, 4 live podcasts. Wow. Apprentices and programme directors, geologists to aerospace engineers, graduates 2 years in, 5 years in, chartered engineers, 30 years deep into their career. People who knew at 16 and people who knew and fell into it at 34. So I started this because I saw a gap. Engineering and technology in the UK is 6.3 million people. Think about that. 6.3 million people. 19% of the workforce in the UK is engineering and technology. And still the industry can't fill the roles that it needs. While young people who are building their way can't break in. The two sides don't meet, and they're not meeting, but don't make sense at the same time. I started this because I've lived it. I've built my own career in engineering. A placement that changed the trajectory of my career. Internships, summer placements, 2-week placements in Volvo in Sweden. Colleagues who shaped my career. Mentors who I didn't realise at the time were building my way for me and guiding me. And it started purely because of that. And the line that I always go back to is quite simple. If we're not doing it, no one else is. 49 episodes later, that line is more true now than it was on the day that I started this. So, I want to dive into 5 things across 49 episodes that it's taught me that I think you need to know as an engineering student, as an engineering graduate, as an engineering student at college, as an apprentice, as an engineering director. Theme 1, there is no straight line. The first thing 49 conversations has taught me, and this isn't a soft observation, this is the strongest pattern across the whole body of work. The straight line is the minority. School, university, graduate scheme, chartership status, project director, that story does exist, and the people have shared it in the podcast, but across 49 episodes, those people are the exception. What's actually normal is the opposite. Guess who left school at 15 with no qualifications and now run multi-billion pound programmes and projects? Guess who started as doing art and history, who have now evolved into engineering? Guess who failed a year at university and kept going? Guess who fell into university at the age of 34 because someone gave them the chance? Different starts, different routes, different speeds, same destination. If you ask a 16-year-old in a school, in any school assembly hall, how someone becomes an engineer, they'll tell you the route of university. That's one route. When 49 conversations have shown me there's dozens of different routes. The straight line is the exception, but it gets sold as the rule. What this means, if you're an engineering student listening to this, if the plan you had at 16 didn't work, the plan was the problem, not you. Don't pick a safe option instead of the thing you actually want. Pick what you want and know there's more than one route to getting there. The destination matters, the route doesn't. What this means, if you're in industry listening to this, if you're in early careers and you think it starts at only apprenticeship or only university, that's not right. Across the 49 conversations I've had, there is a varying way of getting into industry and utilising talent. I talk about this all the time. Maximise your surface area. Capability over credentials, routes over rankings, and this sits with whoever owns the headcount plan, not whoever runs the careers fair. The engineers who deliver the next decade are coming through the doors of your competitors, so make sure that you're using all the different routes. Theme number 2, people are the foundation of every career. The second thing 49 conversations has taught me is something I've said on almost every podcast episode. People are the foundation of my career. They are the foundation of everyone's career. I've said it as a throwaway line. Today I'm saying it as almost a thesis. Because here's what I've noticed. Every single guest, everyone, when I've asked them about mentors or role models, when I've asked them across their career, they've not just named one person, they've named a whole host of people. Almost a board for their own individual career. A parent who planted the seed, a line manager who gave them the responsibility before they thought they were ready. A peer who explained the thing they finally made sense. Sometimes a teacher who saw something that the person didn't see themselves. Sometimes a graduate they coached who taught them as much as they taught the graduate. Not one mentor, a board, different people for different things, for different occasions, for different times, for different moments. And the pattern goes deeper than mentorship. Every single career I've heard about on the podcast was shaped by a moment where someone gave someone else a chance, a line manager who said yes, a senior engineer who made an introduction, a colleague who passed on the CV. Engineering careers are not built alone. They're built by people, on people, with people. So again, if you're a student, if you're an apprentice, if you're building your way, don't try and find the perfect mentor. Find one engineer. Ask one question. See what they say, then find another. Most people will say yes. Most people are kinder than you expect them to be. Most people want to help you. The worst thing that could happen is no reply. Build your board now. The conversations you have now are the ones that you'll rely on throughout your career. So what does it mean for industry? If you're in industry and you want to build someone else's career, mentorship is not nice to have. It is the thing that makes everything else work. Every realistic statistic, every progression rate, every what did they leave exit interview, they all point back to the same thing. People stay when people invest in them. That investment costs less than the cost of replacing them. People are the foundation of every career, without exception. Theme number 3, engineering is everywhere. Geology, energy, defence, water, aerospace, civils, transmission, distribution, nuclear, manufacturing, renewables, decarbonisation across industries that don't even call themselves engineering. Ground investigations to coastal engineering to pump hydro. One engineer, one completely different world, one mindset. And here's the pattern. The mindset is the same, the application is different. The engineers I've spoken to who feel most settled in their careers are almost never the ones who picked one lane and stayed in it. They're the ones who let the breadth of industry pull them into the work that actually fits. They're the ones who pivoted when they thought they were in the job that they thought they always wanted to work in. But here's the uncomfortable part of everywhere. For all the breadth, engineering still isn't reaching everyone. Women make up 17% of engineering, 17%. Across every other occupation in this country, it's not 17%. That is not a talent problem. There is no version of the world where the capability only exists in one half of the population. It's a visibility problem, a roots problem, the same problem this whole podcast exists to chip away at. People can't choose a career they've never seen anyone like them do. 49 conversations have shown me the mindset is everywhere. We just haven't built the doors wide enough for everyone to walk through them. What does this mean if you're a student listening to this? If you don't see yourself as a typical engineer, whatever that means, that feeling is the problem and it's not you. And I'm here for Engineer Career to support you for that one reason. The industry needs everyone. The industry needs everyone. Our industry needs everyone. People who don't feel that they fit are the people who we need. Because the picture was always too narrow and we're here to broaden it as wide as we can. So if you're in industry and you're listening to this, if your pipeline looks like your current workforce, you're recruiting from the same narrow pool everyone else is fighting over and losing. The directors who widen the picture, different routes, different background, different starting points, are the ones who'll still be able to staff their work portfolios in 2030. This is like a broken record, but it's true. And the picture that stands and lands isn't why our sector, it's why engineering, and we happen to do it here. Sell the industry first, the company second. The talent pool grows when you stop fighting over the same 50 graduates. Theme number 4. There has never been a more exciting time to be an engineer. 10 years ago, if you'd told me there would be a multi-billion pound cable project running down the east coast of Scotland, I probably wouldn't have believed that. When I was sitting in doing my renewables modules 11 years ago at university or longer than that, I probably wouldn't have believed that. It still felt trivial at the time. 400,000 roles are to be filled in the energy sector alone by 2050. 260,000 of them brand new. Another 350,000 in industrial decarbonisation. 180,000 in building retrofit by 2030. Offshore wind alone needs up to 55,000 new roles this decade. and 30% of them are here in Scotland. The grid has been rebuilt. Net zero is not a slogan. It's the largest engineering programme this country has probably ever attempted. Offshore wind, nuclear transmission, distribution, industrial decarbonisation, defence, manufacturing, hydrogen, pump hydro, carbon capture. Every single one of those is bigger now than it has been in our lifetime. And here's the part that matters. The engineers who deliver it haven't been hired yet. Some of them haven't even picked their subjects. Some of them haven't even decided that they want to be engineers. Some of them are listening to this podcast. But some of them have picked engineering. Some of them have picked to be an apprentice. We need to get them in. So what does this mean if you're a student or an apprentice listening to this? This isn't an emotional appeal. These are numbers and they're real. They're in every report that I've read. They're the reports that are out there in the public. And the opportunities are real. And the pay is going to be good. They're meaningful jobs and it's going to be at a national scale. And the country needs you. That's not being dramatic. It's the maths. So pick engineering. What does this mean if you're in industry? If you're sitting in a hiring freeze or a deferred graduate intake, or you've not thought about maximising your surface area in early careers, those are the numbers that you need to listen to. The engineers who deliver your 2030 portfolio, 2050 portfolio, are in the system now. If you're not engaging with them right now, you're losing them to someone else. The country needs you. The country needs you in industry, and people need industry to need them. So I'm asking you, from Engineer Career, can you maximise your early career intake to support the next generation of engineers? So I'm recording this at NMIS today for a reason, and I've explained it already. The National Manufacturing Institute Scotland sits genuinely between industry and academia. It's not a university, it's the bridge. An internship programme they run is one of the coolest and awesome and best examples I've seen across the UK of what a different route actually looks like in practice. So I wanted to bring you inside it and share it with you. So I'm going to introduce Kirsty to the podcast and get her to share her role and what NMIS are doing to shape the future of engineering. Kirsty, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
This is really exciting. First of all, I need to say thank you for helping make this happen today. It means a lot, especially in episode 50.
Oh, is it episode 50?
This is episode 50, yeah.
How exciting is that?
No one else cares apart from me, but it's episode 50. Yeah, no, really, really happy to be here at NMIS.
We should have a wee bottle of Prosecco or something.
Well, maybe tonight I'll be having one. So for anyone who hasn't been here or doesn't know the Institute, can you give us a quick sense of what NMIS is in its role within Scottish manufacturing?
Absolutely. So NMIS is like the flagship advanced manufacturing innovation hub for Scotland. Basically, we're really important for a number of reasons. We're like a bridge between sort of academia, so your research institutes, your universities, and then your manufacturing companies, but also with government policy and skills thrown in there as well. So really sort of thinking about that future workforce, the training that we're going to need for those skill shortages that we see within the Scottish advanced manufacturing landscape. We know that manufacturing is disproportionately important to Scotland, and that's really in terms of exports, regional employment, productivity, innovation. So it's really important to us that we've got a ready, willing and able talent pipeline to go into that advanced manufacturing space. So that's kind of, a kind of all-encompassing sort of version of what we do. Yeah,
I think that's such a great summary of it. It's so much. It's so much more than just manufacturing.
Absolutely.
My own links to NMIS is through the skills and the people within the skills.
Yeah.
I attended last year's internship showcase and it blew me away, not only because of how it's exactly what we need, but if I was an organisation, I would want to have been in that room to see all the amazing people that you had coming through.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can
I just also say that you're invited to this year's as well?
Thank you. That's I'm so excited for that. I'll get that in the diary, and I'm so chuffed to be coming along to that. So your role as internship programme lead.
Yes.
Let's find out all about it. Share it with us. What does it involve?
Okay, so I'm actually a senior technologist as well as being the 2026 programme lead. So I've got a background in engineering. I've worked in industry. I know what is needed. I know what's required. And day to day, really, it's finding those students, finding my interns, and recruiting the companies as well that will be our partners throughout the internship programme. So it's so important that we don't only have interns based here at NMIS, that we have them out in industry as well, because that's where we need to be, our big focus needs to be. So yeah, day to day, I liaise with these companies. I've been involved in the sort of recruitment of all the students, some of the interview setup, some of the interviews themselves are one of our pilot programs that I'll go into a little bit later. And then, organising the induction days, organising the training programme for the interns while they're here. So we offer them a full sort of CPD programme, again, which you are going to be part of this year, talking to the students about early careers. Yes, it's really exciting, really dynamic. No day is the same. And alongside all of this, I am also trying to be a senior technologist and do my job as an engineer. Love it.
I love it. You know, we've only spoken now for the last 20 minutes and I can just feel the energy coming from you in terms of this area, and that is awesome. One of the things you said there is, I've been an engineer, I've seen it, I know what it takes. And that I think that matters so much. And I think going forward, having people like yourself, I would also argue people like me as well, who have been in industry, who they can communicate that to the next generation, can't be what you can't see. And it matters.
100%.
So let's dive straight into the programme then. So 2026, from a student's perspective, what does it involve?
So we run for 12 weeks over the summer. We start in early June all the way to the end of August. And we don't just take engineering students. That's one of our sort of unique selling points, if you like. We look at students from every discipline. So it doesn't matter what your background, what your degree is, as long as you're an undergraduate, you can apply. And this is because within manufacturing, within engineering, not all roles are technical. We have to remember that there's business development roles, there's marketing and communications roles, we've got project management, there's all sorts of areas that you can get into. So one of the things we do at NMIS is that we ensure that every department, every team has got the opportunity of getting one intern. And that means that we have like a huge variety of different projects for these interns to come along and do, which is really important. We can't control obviously what comes in from industry, but we do say to them it doesn't have to be a technical project. If you want it to be more business based, that is absolutely fine. So that's really exciting. And the backgrounds of students that we've had apply this year is, range from all types of engineering, from mechanical to electrical to biomedical to economics, and then also business degrees and arts degrees as well. So it's fantastic to see the range of students that we have coming through the programme. So the 12 weeks are kind of dedicated to a project which has been specifically designed for that intern, and we kind of culminate all the learning, like you said, in this showcase event at the end, which I want to make even bigger and better this year than it has been in previous years.
I'm looking forward to it then. I'm excited for that. And how has the programme evolved over time in terms of when it started to where it is today, in terms of, starting off with numbers?
Yeah, well, we are in a period, I would say, of significant growth at the moment. So in 2023, we had 17 interns. 2024, we went up to 38, so a huge jump there. And then last year, we had 42 interns. Now, this year, within the main programme, we've got 42 interns again, but double the number of external partner companies. So less interns at NMIS, but more out in industry. So that is a huge win for us. But alongside the main internship programme, we're running a pilot internship programme. This is specifically for the offshore wind industry, and it is jointly funded by the Scottish Government and the Irish Government. So we have 20 more interns coming through that programme. 10 of them are Scottish, 10 of them are Irish, and they are getting put out into the world of offshore wind. So they're going to go into that sector, into the companies that make up that sector, and run with live projects within the offshore wind industry, which is so exciting for them. Like I said, it's a pilot programme, so that is our first year trying this out. And So in total that is 62 interns this year across NMIS and over 25 partner companies. So
That's
massive
awesome.
leaps from last year.
A lot of the time I people who listen to the podcast or listen to what I do, it may come across that I'm negative. And it's maybe not always fair, but see, when you come to NMIS and you see what's been produced and the growth of it, this is what we should be doing, and it's the absolute case study for how it's going to go going forward.
Yeah.
And your growth, I mean, it's so exciting to see what it's going to be over the coming
I
years,
know.
because as the demand comes, but also as people realise the benefits. I mean, you've already seen it in the numbers that you're producing.
Absolutely.
Especially offshore wind as well. We know how important offshore wind, renewables, tying into sustainability, net zero, etc.
It's those huge areas of growth. So it's the sectors that are facing huge technological changes like offshore wind, like renewables, or are facing skill shortages. And those are the areas that we really want to be targeting so that we can move forward successfully.
And that's the benefit, again, of having a designated skills department or profession within the organisation here, because outside of those 12 weeks, all the work that you're doing, it almost enables those 12 weeks to be relevant and to tie into exactly what is required then going
100%,
forward.
yeah.
So that independent almost assessment and build for the capability that we need going forward is invaluable. So awesome work. So for the actual intern itself, you've had a number coming through the programmes. Where are they now? What's the success stories looking like?
Oh, wow. So we have so many interns that have returned to NMIS. Some of them have been so taken with the technology that they return short-term contracts while they're still at university. So they're not ready to let us go, which is amazing. They come back and they'll do sort of 100, it's called a 100-hour contract. They'll do 100 hours while they're still at uni, and they kind of continue working on whatever project it was that they were working on whilst they were during their internship. We've also had several interns come back to us as full-time employees. So Cameron and Jack in the design department, shout out guys, they are actually both project supervisors this year for an intern. Brilliant. Which is just so lovely. It's like that whole full circle thing, isn't it? And yeah, we've also got quite a few that come back as PhD students because, again, they're not done with their academic side, but they don't want to let us go either. So yeah, they come back, they do their PhDs with us. We've got one over at the AFRC right now, Alice, and she'll be coming to speak to this year's cohort of interns. But I mean, alongside them coming back to NMIS, huge number are walking straight into jobs as soon as they graduate. So into that manufacturing sector, into the engineering sector, and it's so important that we continue to facilitate that because we are breaking that cycle of graduates not being able to get jobs when they come out of uni.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So last one from me. What's the programme going to look like going forward? You've shared the growth up to now. There must be ambitious plans.
Yeah, there is. I want to see it grow even further. I want to dig our heels in with this pilot programme this year and make that permanent. I want that to start running every single year as well, and I want that to grow as well. So yeah, I am quite ambitious in terms of growth. I also want to build on the relationships that we've already established with the companies this year. In the past, it's tended to be that we engage with companies for 1 year and then that relationship almost peters out. I want to make sure that relationship is nurtured and that we grow that relationship and that it almost acts as a springboard then for future years, especially within the offshore industry where those companies are few and far between. So looking to next year, I think the initial thing that we'll be looking to do is cast the net a bit wider. A lot of our students and companies are all based or come from central Scotland, that central belt, and I want to see more involvement from the Highlands and Islands, from the borders. I want to see full Scottish sort of cohorts coming together. So that's kind of my initial plans for next year. Let's widen the net. Let's try and reach further than we ever have before. And then basically going forwards, sky's the limit.
Absolutely. Well, Kirsty, thank you so much for coming on this as what is a special podcast for Engineer Career. I'll be sharing everything about NMIS in the description of the podcast, and if you're a student and you're thinking maybe 2027's going to be my chance to get an internship at NMIS, then we'll be sharing that, and stay tuned. All the best for the future.
Thank you
and I'm
so
excited
much.
to see how it continues to grow.
Thanks, Josh. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Kirsty described something I want every engineering student, aspiring engineer, to have access to. Access to industry. A bridge into industry that wasn't a brochure or a careers fair that maybe doesn't feel tangible, but actual hands-on engineering, manufacturing, construction. That's the kind of route that this country needs. People who pick engineering, to see engineering, to get access to engineering, so then they can be engineers. So we know the talent pipeline is there and we can access it. So here's what I would tell a 16-year-old now. The path matters less than you think. University, college, apprenticeship, graduate apprenticeship, HNC, HND, they all work. Because I've spoken to engineers from every single one of those routes. What matters is that you need to pick engineering. You need to explore the routes and the one that suits you. And the one that suits you might not be the first one that you picked. Just listen to the podcast. The people who dropped out of university to do an apprenticeship, who never chose the university and wanted to do an apprenticeship only. There are so many different routes into engineering, but you have to pick engineering in the first place. Find one person who's already doing it. That's another bit of just the advice that I can't emphasise enough. Don't try and find the perfect mentor. Just find an engineer that you know. Ask the questions, then find another and ask the question. That's how you build your board that's going to build your career. Apprenticeships are not the backup route. They are the actual route. I've been criticised in the past for focusing only university students, which I think is unfair because I talk about university, college and apprenticeships all the time. Multiple guests in this podcast have told me if they could redo their career, they would pick an apprenticeship. They'd take the graduate apprenticeship route. They would take an apprenticeship route. Tell your parents that. Tell your parents about apprenticeships. Tell your parents about the different routes and get them to help you. Tell your guidance teacher, ask your guidance teacher, speak to your teacher, speak to your lecturer. Speak to that person that you know, the person that comes to mind when you think of engineering. Ask them about the different routes because apprenticeships are not the backup route. The country needs you. This is not an emotional appeal, and I've covered this already. The numbers are real, but so pick engineering. There's a final bit of advice I want to share, and it's around resilience. And I've really thought quite hard about this recently because, you know, I need more resilience at times. It's really, really tough to keep going. And I appreciate the knockbacks around getting to university, applying for the job, getting through your degree, trying to get an internship and not getting one, applying for an apprenticeship and getting knocked back when you know that apprenticeship is right for you. Resilience is really, really hard to know and to identify and to prove when you're getting knocked back. But my ask is to keep going. You have to keep going. Because see, when you get the job, you'll then define yourself as resilient. And that's the one thing that I would ask you, the student, the parent, the person that wants to help people be engineers, to take on board. Be the support mechanism to the person who needs to be resilient. Because right now, young people do get knockbacks. And I can't imagine what it's like to get knocked back from jobs after doing a 5-year degree or 5-year masters. I can't imagine to have came to the conclusion that an apprenticeship is right for me because I don't want to do university and then get knocked back. So if you're a student, listen to this. If you are the school pupil, if you are the person that wants to build your career, I have got your back. Engineer Career has your back. And I will continue to champion you as the capable potential that I know you're going to be and are throughout your career, because I've seen it, I've lived it, and I've spoken to it. But if you are that mechanism, the parent, the uncle, the aunt, the brother, the sister, the line manager, the lecturer, the school teacher, the guidance teacher, the MP, the MSP, the person that works within careers that wants to support someone, the thing that you can do is be there for the young person, because resilience is brutal. It is brutal. We need to support our young people, whether it's in engineering or not. But if it's in engineering, we have to support them, because the future of engineering is only coming from one place. It's coming from schools, it's coming from colleges, and it's coming from university. Let's not give them a rough deal. Let's be the support mechanism that we can reflect on going forward, that say that you are proud that you supported that person that's now in their career. Because if you're not doing it, someone else isn't. So, that's my rally call done. What's next? The next 50 episodes. 50 episodes in. Here's what I know. Going to continue doing what we're doing. The same format. The same episodes. At Glasgow Cali, in Edinburgh, in Glasgow, in London, across the UK. Continuing to use podcast studios. Continue recording. But the most important part is sharing the stories of engineers. There are voices that I have not had on the podcast yet that I want. Engineers running operations on projects most people have never heard of. Apprentices 2 years in that can share their story with a clearer view than I'll ever have that I want to share. People across every walk of life in engineering, leading parts of industry that we don't talk about, unglamorous, unfoundational, and the ones that ultimately hold us up within our economy. I want more conversations with people whose route in doesn't appear at careers fairs and prospectus documents. I want more chartered engineers, I want more incorporated engineers, I want more engineering technicians. If you're listening to this and you know someone whose story will bring value, reach out, because I want everyone in this podcast to share their career. The format is not going to change, but what will change is the sectors, the range, the routes and the voices. Because 49 conversations have shown me there are dozens of way into our industry, and I've only captured 49 of them. So I always end the podcast with the same question. What keeps you passionate about engineering? And I think it's only fair to share what I think. What keeps me passionate about engineering has evolved across my career, and as I've built engineering career. I've spent 49 episodes asking that question. And every single one matters. But to me, people are the foundation of my career. And they're the foundation of this podcast. And the foundation of everyone else's career. They are the foundation of engineering careers. And that's what keeps me passionate about engineering. Not technology, not AI, not projects, not scale, not money, but people. People are the foundation. And that's what keeps me passionate about engineering. It'll always be people. And the root of engineer career will always be people. So to every guest that sat across from me from episode 1 to now, thank you. You've gave your time, your story, your honesty, and none of this exists without you. To every podcast studio that I've used, thank you. To every partner that has supported engineer career, thank you. If you've listened to this, downloaded an episode, you've watched it on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, or on anywhere where you get your podcasts, thank you. If you've been here from the start, I can't thank you enough. You're why I keep doing this. To every student, every apprentice, every graduate, every early career engineer who's reached out, who's sent a message, who's asked for engineer careers help, you're the point of this. This was episode 50. I've had 56 guests, 4 live podcasts, and now 5 solos. On to the next 50. My name's Josh. I'm the founder of Engineer Career, and I'll see you on episode 51.